Welcome everyone, my name is John Hand, and this is Horror Digest, where we talk about horror and nothing but horror, and just, it's all horror, it's horrible. On this first episode of Horror Digest, a very special first episode, we're going to be talking about a very special film, a holiday favorite for many a horror fan, Black Christmas. 1974's Black Christmas, not Black Xmas, the recent remake. I don't know about that. I think they need to put the Christ back into Black Christmas, to be quite honest, with that film. Black Christmas, 1974, the work of journeyman, excellent, superb Canadian filmmaker Bob Clark, the director. And Black Christmas, I know many people who every year, it's kind of a perennial thing, around Christmas, they'll actually watch Black Christmas. And I guess it's a lot more entertaining than watching Bing Crosby and White Christmas. So, Black Christmas.
Remember those idyllic scenes out of your childhood? Crisp winter nights, star bright, sleigh bells, crackling Yule logs, candlelight glistening off of shimmering Christmas trees, chestnuts roasting over open fires, carolers beneath snow-covered window ledges. Remember those. Remember them well. After Black Christmas, they'll never be the same again. Black Christmas, starring Olivia Hussey, Kier Dullea, Margot Kidder, and starring John Saxon as Lieutenant Fuller. If this movie doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight.
Now, the plot of Black Christmas is pretty simple. Basically, it's a female sorority. Around Christmas Eve, everybody's getting ready to go, and the only problem is that there is a psychotic murderer who is roaming the halls of this sorority, picking off nubile sorority sisters one by one by one. It starts off with Claire, wonderful young vibrant girl who's Art Hindle's girlfriend. She ends up getting suffocated and thrown in the attic, and she is kind of the mascot of Black Christmas. You'll see her face is on the poster, her screaming visage. She had to keep that pose under plastic for a long period of time, and apparently that was not very fun. And for a while, the other sorority sisters don't notice what's happened to poor Claire. You've got the house mother, who is like this kind of bumbling, alcoholic Shelley Winters prototype type older battle horse. You've got Margot Kidder, who's this film seems like probably a very true portrait of who Margot Kidder really was. She's just kind of this loose lush of a young woman. Very a free spirit, you know, and it seems like from the accounts of Margot Kidder, this film seems like a far more realistic portrait of who she was, as opposed to the little shrinking violet of say, Sisters, or the housewife of Amityville Horror. And we've also got Olivia Hussey as the tortured young woman who's come to this decision about what to do with her baby. She is pregnant, she wants to abort it, and she breaks it. She breaks the news to her classical piano boyfriend, played by Kier Dullea. Kier Dullea. I mean, that's kind of like the first thing that kind of freaks me out. You see her boyfriend, and it's Kier Dullea. It's Bowman from 2001, and he has longer hair, and he's wearing these hideous jackets, and he's playing this weird experimental piano, and he's all pissed off, you know, and you're going to keep the baby. I mean, it's just kind of like Noel Coward once said, Kier Dullea gone tomorrow. And Kier Dullea's career has had a lot of strange byways and highways and upside down things, from 2001, the greatest science fiction movie ever made, to playing Desaad in some AIP movie, to Black Christmas. Now he still works. He does a lot of live theater, really mainly. I've seen a lot of interviews with him. He looks very distinguished. He's a distinguished older gentleman, and he actually kind of looks like Bowman at the end of 2001. He has this very his hair is lightened. I think it's almost white, and he looks very distinguished. But at this point, 1974 or abouts, when this film was shot, he still has that kind of Bowman persona with much longer hair, much hippified. This film has some edges of hippiness. It's very much kind of a 70s film. You see the posters on the wall, the peace signs, the use of nudity in these posters and things, and it is kind of a bit of a hippy dippy. You see one time you see a poster which has all these astrological signs on it, and so it is kind of a film of its time, really. And the whole atmosphere of Black Christmas is a really good atmosphere. I could see why this film could become a perennial for some people, because it has a very nice kind of 70s feel. It's very grainy, and for some reason it feels very cold. It feels the grain and the roughness in the image. It's not the most polished looking film. But the grain and the winter feel of the thing. Apparently, they used a lot of styrofoam outside to simulate snow because it wasn't cold, but it looks really cold. And it has a nice kind of insular, kind of cozy feel, but then there's all this creepy stuff going on at the same time, so it's kind of crazy. The film itself, it has a grain to it, but let's not mistake this as some kind of rank amateur production. It is a totally professional film, and really, I think some people could regard it as one of the great horror films of the 70s. It's certainly in the top 5 of great quote unquote slasher films, things you would comprise the slasher genre, the Friday the 13th films, Halloween. The film is kind of one of it broke a lot of firsts. It was kind of, probably there are movies that were before that contained certain plot elements happened before and after, but Black Christmas does it just so well. The idea of a killer being in the same house as you, and calling you from that house, and he's in the house, my God, get out, that was one of the first. Black Christmas really kind of pioneered that. Once you watch this film a couple times and start getting the history, you kind of get the idea that maybe possibly John Carpenter's Halloween could be inspired by this. And Bob Clark has been very honest in years. The late Bob Clark, he died. Before he died, he gave a lot of interviews, and in fact, where he talked about actually how he had worked on a sequel to Black Christmas, and the sequel to Black Christmas, he had a basic idea of this killer from the original Black Christmas escaping from a mental institution in the sequel and terrorizing a town on Halloween, apparently. And he said he just had offered this. He had actually talked to John Carpenter, Bob Clark, at this time, and had offered it to him, and he wasn't sure where that idea went or what was going on with that. But take that for what you will. But nevertheless, Black Christmas is a very, very, very well done film. It's very scary. It is. There are moments of really sheer suspense in it. It's really a nice little film, and not very graphic. There's some graphic language in it, but as far as the gore, and there's really not any gore. The one main death, which is a fantastic sequence. Well, all the murder sequences are very fantastic. They're either very scary or shocking or just sudden, and they spook you out. From the beginning, suffocation of the Claire character, but the coolest sequence is Margot Kidder's death, which is this death at the hands of this glass unicorn sculpture. And I guess I gave it away, but it's just such a shocking and visually intense sequence. It stacks up there with anything that Argento could have done. Really, it's that good of a sequence. And really, the film is incredibly well edited. It's edited as tight as a drum. It's a very grainy film. There's some elements of a low budget nature to it. I don't even think it cost I don't think it cost $1 million to make. I think it cost about $600,000. It was a very low budget film, but as far as the editing of the film, it is tight as a drum. Tight as a drum. A lot of the transitional elements of a character getting up in a chair and then cutting into a character opening a window or opening a blind, or the idea of a woman screaming and then it turning into a telephone, and really beautiful, tightly edited, tightly wound film. I really have no need to watch the remake. I think just in the same way as the Halloween remake kind of explored the history of the killer, the new Black Xmas remake explores the history of the killer in the film, and there's really no need to do that because the film is such an exercise in suspense. And the ending of Black Christmas, it was released in the U.S. as Silent Night, Evil Night. And I think Bob Clark wanted the title "Stop Me," but everybody wanted him to change the ending of the film, which is kind of enigmatic, and you're never really sure what happens specifically. But I think that's what makes it so scary, and I think that's what makes a great horror film so scary, like Halloween and films like this. Halloween is a fine film. It is made in its own style, but Black Christmas is its own film. It's a really great little gem of a film, whether you're watching the original VHS and beta releases or the more recent digital upgrades. The original DVD is a little bit rough. Later DVDs have been remastered sound, a lot of great extras. Just something that you need to check out and watch. Just a wonderful film.
Silent night, evil night. Starring Olivia Hussey. Kier Dullea. Margot Kidder. John Saxon. If this movie doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight. Silent Night, Evil Night, rated R.